What would you do if your wealth could change the fate of entire kingdoms, but also shake the world's economy? That question sits at the heart of the story of Mansa Musa, a man whose name still echoes through history as the richest ruler to ever live. But this is not just a story about gold. It is a story of power, faith, ambition, and a vast network of trade that connected the deserts of Africa to the cities of the Middle East and beyond. In the early 14th century, long before European explorers reached West Africa, the mighty Mali Empire stood as one of the most powerful and organized empires in the world. Stretching across modern-day Mali, Senegal, Guinea, and beyond, it controlled the lifeblood of wealth at the time, gold and salt. Musa did not originally expect to become king. His predecessor, Abu Bakr II, was obsessed with the mysteries of the Atlantic Ocean. Determined to discover what lay beyond the horizon, he launched a massive expedition, and never returned. And just like that, Musa, once a deputy, became emperor. But Musa was not just inheriting a throne. He was inheriting the richest gold fields in the world, control over major trade routes, a diverse empire of cities, tribes, and cultures. Most men would have been overwhelmed. Musa saw opportunity. To understand Musa's power, you must understand the Trans-Saharan trade network. Imagine vast caravans, thousands of camels, moving slowly across the scorching Sahara Desert. These were not ordinary journeys. They were lifelines. From the south came gold from Bambuk and Bure, ivory and kola nuts. From the north came salt from the mines of Tagaza, textiles, horses, and books. At the center of it all was Mali. Cities like Timbuktu and Gao became thriving hubs where merchants, scholars, and travelers met. Mansa Musa controlled these routes. And control of trade meant control of wealth. Every caravan that crossed the desert paid taxes. Every deal enriched the empire. Gold flowed like water. But Musa understood something deeper. Wealth alone is not power. Influence is. In 1324, Musa made a decision that would make him legendary. He would perform the Hajj, the sacred pilgrimage to Mecca. But this was no ordinary journey. This was a statement. His caravan reportedly included 60,000 people, thousands of soldiers, hundreds of camels, each carrying gold, slaves dressed in silk, holding golden staffs. As the procession moved across the desert into North Africa, people watched in disbelief. When Musa reached Cairo, the impossible happened. He gave away so much gold, freely to the poor, generously to officials, that the value of gold dropped. Prices rose. Markets shifted. An entire economy felt the impact of one man's generosity. Historians say it took years for Cairo to recover. Think about that. One ruler, one journey, and an entire region's economy trembled. But something changed during that pilgrimage. Musa did not return as just a wealthy king. He returned as a man with a vision. He brought back scholars, architects, teachers. Among them was the Andalusian architect Abu Ishaq al-Sahili, who would help shape Mali's architectural legacy. Musa began transforming his empire. In Timbuktu, he expanded learning institutions and mosques. The city became a beacon of knowledge, drawing students from across Africa and the Islamic world. Books became as valuable as gold. Mosques rose from the earth. Trade routes became safer and more organized. Mali was no longer just rich. It was respected. Under Musa's rule, Timbuktu evolved into one of the greatest intellectual centers of the medieval world. Scholars studied mathematics, astronomy, law, theology. Libraries grew. Manuscripts were copied and preserved. Caravans didn't just carry goods anymore. They carried ideas. This was the genius of Mansa Musa. He understood that an empire built only on gold could fall. But an empire built on knowledge could endure. Yet, greatness comes with burdens. Musa's generosity, while legendary, also revealed the fragility of wealth. Flooding markets with gold had consequences. And managing such a vast empire was never easy. There were constant challenges. Maintaining control over distant territories. Protecting trade routes from bandits. Balancing cultural and religious diversity. Still, Musa ruled with stability and vision. For over 2 decades, Mali thrived. When Mansa Musa died around 1337, he left behind more than an empire. He left behind a legacy. European mapmakers, hearing tales of his wealth, began drawing him on maps, holding a nugget of gold, seated on a throne. To them, he represented the unimaginable riches of Africa. But history remembers more than his gold. It remembers his expansion of trade, his investment in education, his transformation of cities like Timbuktu. The Trans-Saharan trade routes he strengthened continued to shape economies for centuries. So now, think about this. If you had the power to control the world's richest resources, would you use it for influence, knowledge, or legacy? Mansa Musa chose all three. And that is why, centuries later, his name still shines brighter than gold. If this story opened your eyes, what part surprised you the most? His wealth, his journey, or his vision?